I'm here with our killer sales leader, Brian Blouch, and what we have found through practice, testing, reiteration is that there are 5 key disciplines to a successful real estate business. You coach on this all the time. Why don't you break them down for us, Brian?
Yeah, so I recommend with all the agents that come onto our team to really work towards getting these established within your first 90 days of joining the team. And what we found to be extremely successful is the first thing, Tom, is you got to have a business plan, right? So you got to have the direction that you're looking to shoot for, because everything is driven off of that. The second piece of it, which most real estate agents struggle with, is time management. I mean, you've got to use your calendar. You've got to establish key disciplines. You got to set your rocks, and you got to follow your calendar religiously every day. Third piece of it, which is extremely important in growing your business, is prospecting. Getting on the phones, talking to people, getting good at scripts, knowing what to say, when to say, and how to say it is extremely important. Also, the fourth one is accountability. Who's going to hold you accountable to be the real estate agent you want to be? The challenge most real estate agents have is you're not only the owner, but you're also the operator. So who's going to hold you to the goals that you set in your business plan? And the last thing is track and measuring. I'm a big believer of that. I think if you track and measure the numbers don't lie. You can utilize that information to get better, make your adjustments midstream so that you're not making the same mistakes through a long period of time. You can make those adjustments very quickly.
So this all sounds really simple, and this is the thing I think jams people up with real estate is they've probably heard this before, but people don't do it, right? We talk about the implementation gap all the time, and you started with the first one with a business plan, and to me that's got to be the first one, because you can't plan the rest of the items, the prospecting, the accountability, the lead generation, the scripts, the role play, the time management, all those things without having a plan of where you want to go. So for the folks watching right now, if they don't have a plan, or maybe they have a plan and it's like overly complicated, any recommendations you have to have an effective business plan in the real estate industry specifically?
Yeah, I push, and I'm a firm believer that a business plan does not have to be complicated. It could be as simple as a 1 or 2 page plan. The first thing I always recommend is just start with number of transactions you want to close within a given period of time. You could start with the next 3 months. You could parlay that into 6, 12 months, but start with the total number of transactions. And then the breakdown from there is working your 5 controllables, right? People don't understand that there's controllables that you have in a real estate business. It's number of calls to conversations, number of conversations that lead to appointments, appointments lead to writing offers, offers lead to transactions. So understanding those 5 controllables and building that into that transaction count is really a good first step.
Well, and it's funny, like, look at what he just said here, because here's the plan, but the plan rolls into prospecting and lead generation. Then you've got to figure out when you're going to do that in your schedule. Then there's the actual follow-through of doing it, and then measuring and seeing what's working. And I think that the myth here is you have to use all 5. They all work together. We have this flywheel meeting every day at our team. How do you see this stuff working together? And like for agents that this is very foreign to, where they're just like, oh, I'm going to call through my phone and find out who I know that wants to sell. How do you get started with a process like this? Because it does sound overly complicated and can paralyze people.
Yeah, so we offer, we have all this automated. So we are, on our team, it's plugging in transaction count. There's some ratios that are very consistent. When I talk about the numbers don't lie, we have an ISA team that's making tens of thousands of calls at any given time. And what we're seeing is a ratio of how many calls they have to get a conversation. So when you understand that, and if you're not meeting those metrics, you can then break that one segment down and you can work on your skill sets to improve that. And that's why I talk about them as being controllables, because within each one of those controllables, it could be skill set with scripts. It could be not prepping good for showings. You're going on more showings and not getting people the right offers. So there's ways of looking at your business in terms of the numbers, and then breaking those numbers down and segmenting out your business to improve your skill sets.
And I think this is real management, right? This is real sales management. It's not guessing. You didn't hear any guessing here. Brian would never guess at anything. His nickname used to be Charts and Graphs before we started working together. And when you rely on data, the data never lies. So the value in this, we're going to go deeper on each one of these because this could be an hour-long video if we wanted to make it that way. The point is that you've got to look at all 5 of them. You're probably good at some, not good at others, right? I mean, I think, you and I work together the same way where I'm good at a couple of these, but you know where my weaknesses are and vice versa.
Cool.
And you want to work on the stuff you're not good at, right? So for the people that maybe they're like, oh, cool, I prospect, but they don't like to track and measure, or they don't put anything in their calendar and they try to keep it all up here and they're really good at business planning, what advice do you have for them who are working on their weaknesses?
Yeah, and I think you have to, you need to surround yourself with like-minded people, and I think that's one of the advantages of our team. We're 50-plus agents, 8 to 10 back staffs. We're all kind of in the arena together, working collectively together. And when you surround yourself with like-minded people, you will learn techniques that other people are better at than you are. And those people are actually going to learn from you as well. So keeping yourself, that's where that accountability comes in. Having other agents listening to your role play, talking to other agents about business planning, things that they're doing, that's how you get better.
Well, and that's really what being driven is all about, trying to get a little better every day. I mean, you and I could sit here and say, oh, we sold all these houses, but we're trying to get better, right? And you got to walk the walk, especially when you mentioned in the arena. I love that. That's a thing we're going to talk about a lot. So hopefully you got some value out of this. If you did, subscribe to the channel, hit on the bell for notifications. You can follow Brian here. And this guy knows what he's doing. He's done it for almost 4 decades at this point, right? I mean, you're rocking and rolling. So we're grateful to have you, man.